Hey babes, welcome to Your Mom's Best Friends podcast, where we come together as a tribe and share the good, the bad, and the what in the actual fuck moments of motherhood, all while building our dream life. I'm your host, Brandy Ververs, mama to two littles, Army veteran, and business enthusiast. I'm obsessed with empowering mamas to live their life with their babies in tow while also building their dreams. If you're ready for a good laugh or to get inspired, grab your cup of coffee because you're in the right place.
What is up, besties? I am really excited to get into this short, sweet episode with my girl Jerrika because she has had a very interesting life, from raising babies at a young age to some of the other things that she has experienced. And then we also talk about mindset. So definitely give this episode a listen and let's go ahead and jump into it. What is up, you guys? I am with my girl Jerrika here. She's super nervous, but she's going to do amazing. What I like to tell people before they get on the podcast is that this is just going to be a conversation. And Jerrika had reached out to me through Instagram. So for those of you that say that like Instagram is weird to connect with people that you don't know, it really isn't, because I've gotten to know Jerrika over these last couple months, supporting her on socials and that sort of thing. And it's really a blessing. It is not weird. And I love that it attracts people that are supposed to be my people, right? And so she had reached out to me and she was like, "Oh my gosh, like I've always wanted to be on a podcast. I see that you have a podcast. Can I be on it?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, absolutely. Let's go." Right? So here we are, and we are going to talk about all things. We are going to talk about, I know, some of the things that she's been through in life, and she really is just like an inspiration to all mamas out there. And she is very just like a free spirit, and I love that about her. So I can't wait to get into this conversation. Jerrika, welcome to the pod. Let's introduce who are you, where are you from, how old are you, how many kids you have, all the basics.
Hello, everyone. Well, first off, thank you so much, Brandy, for having me. This is such a blessing. I've never even thought about being on a podcast until I just wanted to connect more. And I see podcasts as like the new thing now. So I wanted to, hey, try it out. And like I said, Brandy, she is stunning. I watch her also on social media, and she's also an inspiration. Her kids, her cows, her farm lifestyle. But yes, I am here in Virginia. I grew up here. I was born in Georgia, but I would say I have the best of both worlds. I'm very blessed. I definitely went through some hardships, at a young age and preteens, and but hey, that's what shapes us.
Yes.
I also have two kids myself. One is 2 and one is 9, so definitely an age difference there. They definitely keep me going. I graduated in high school in 2013. And I had my first son at 20. So from there, I had to jump into motherhood after high school. So it wasn't really a life, as you would say. But it's very, it was a wild ride. But I am very a firm believer of God, and I've gotten closer to Him within these past couple of years. So that's a little bit about me. I am a free spirit, like you said. I'm a people's person. I am very outgoing. I love nature. I love the beach. So, yes.
Perfect. All right. So from that, we are going to get more into the like deeper things, if that's cool with you. So being a mom at such a young age, and I know plenty of people do go through this, but I just want to give you the opportunity to share your story. What was it like being a 20-year-old, a new mom, and really going through postpartum?
It was hard. And the thing is, I didn't even know what postpartum was until my second pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
So when I had my first kid coming out of high school, it was it was a turnaround. It was definitely a turnaround. My mom, she was very supportive, um, but it wasn't like mentally supportive.
Yeah, no, it's
Like
hard.
it was very, very hard, So you know, and I tried to just keep people around me that was uplifting,
Mm-hmm.
and for the most part, because graduating from high school, it was kind of like, okay, actually wanted to become a model myself. Like,
Mm.
that was my thing. I actually
Mm.
didn't want kids. I wanted to be on camera. I wanted to be on stages. I just wanted to be on the big screen. So I'm like, okay, wow, now I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
But it was okay. My son, he is rough around the edges sometimes, but he, being that single mom, he woke me up too at the same time. Yeah.
Okay. And I think like our parents are very like you made your bed, time to lay in it, like push through it, like this is just like how it's going to be now. And so for you to then take the initiative and surround yourself with other people who are positive and who are willing to be there for you emotionally and mentally, that's a really big flex because I feel like a lot of us moms, no matter when you have children, it's so much easier just to isolate yourself and deal with your own feelings versus diving into community and diving into relationships where people actually understand you and know exactly where you are. So I applaud you for that. What were some of the things that being around those people really, really helped you with? I have written down on your like little interview card that like tribe and healing is like really important to you. What were some of the things that you did?
Journaling.
Okay.
Journaling and podcasts.
Mm,
Because back to, I don't know if you want to jump right into it, but when I was in the homeless shelter, it was just me and my son still, but he was about maybe 4 or 5. And I just thought there was no way out. I still had my family around, but it was kind of like, oh, you're feeding for yourself. Oh, you're
mm,
grown now. But it's
mm,
like, wow. So, journaling and podcasts, and I kind of had to just keep the negative thoughts like away.
mm,
So I'm constantly feeding my subconscious mind like, everything's gonna be okay. But
mm,
this wasn't a regular homeless shelter. Like, this shelter, you had a job.
mm,
You can wash your own clothes.
mm,
Um, Everything was sanitary. They made sure there was a curfew. You couldn't stay out.
mm,
So that grew me up too. That got me on the right path.
mm.
And then 5 months in, they put me into a transitional housing. Now that had rules too. Mind you, I'm just trying to like live life, but it's just like I feel like I'm restricted.
Mm.
So, in the transitional housing, they taught me a lot of things there. They taught me about budgeting, parenting skills, management skills. There was therapy in there too as well.
Okay.
So that got me through that journey
Mm-hmm.
with healing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. So that is like, I feel like a major point in your life where you were like, okay, like this is going to be a huge shift. Um, let's back up a little bit. What got you into that period of your life? Like you said, you had your mom, you said that you had family around, but they were kind of like, you're grown, you deal with it. What made you make the decision to be like, okay, I'm going to go to this place versus like staying with my mom? Because I feel like a lot of people do that. They do fall back on their parents. What made you make the decision to go the other route?
Okay, to rewind, I was with my mom and we actually lost our apartments.
Okay.
But I was in a relationship,
Mm,
still young. Oh, he's my love of my life. I love him so
mm,
much. He's
mm,
gonna take care of me and stuff like
mm,
that. So I moved in with him.
mm,
And his mom,
mm,
mind you, that it went okay, but
mm.
she couldn't really have other people staying there. So I'm
Okay.
like, okay, there has to be another option. I couldn't go back to my mom because she was in a place to where it was only like a 1 bedroom type of thing.
Mm.
So I was like, oh, and I the shelter was kind of like, okay, this is the turning point.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, no, and I think that's really good to share with a lot of people out there because either A, they're like, my situation sucks, I'm living with my parents, when in reality, right, it could be a lot worse. Or two, I don't have any choices, but can you share where you found those resources? Because I feel like a lot of people, they don't know where to go, where to find help.
I actually found it online. Yeah,
Okay,
I was
so,
digging deep in my area. And there's kind of like county resources. So wherever you are in your county, you can kind of like look it up, or
okay,
there is social services.
okay.
And that's, it's a lot, but
It's
sometimes you got to start from the bottom. And that's just what
100%.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, 100%. Anything that has to do with government, anything, you're going to have to do your research. You're going to have to find the time to show up to those appointments, show up to those offices, and ask for what you need. And so, again, I applaud you for taking the initiative and doing that because a lot of people are going to, some people, they're like, well, that's just too hard. I don't have the time for that, and then they're not really helping themselves, right? So, definitely kudos to doing that. um what has that done with your confidence? Because like I said, you're a free spirit, you're very confident, and you show up on social media. Like and like obviously you've always had the confidence if you wanted to be on stage and be a model and be in front of the camera, right? Like you always had that confidence, but like the whole postpartum, like that shifts your identity, right? And then people really start to battle with confidence issues at that point. And then I'm sure like you have to be strong for your babies, but there's like those moments as a mom where you just want to scream into a pillow. So like how did you keep that level of confidence?
Personal development. Yeah.
Okay.
So I kind of just stuck to a morning routine.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
what does your
literally.
morning routine look like? What did your morning routine look like then? And then what does it look like now? Is it similar? Is it different?
Okay. Well, back then, self-care it wasn't like a priority. It was just like, okay, we're gonna wake up, we're gonna check social media, we're gonna see what's wrong, what's going on with the news, what's happening in the world. So that was kind of like my then, like, okay, what's going on the outside, what's
Okay.
going on around me type of thing.
Okay.
But versus now, I wake up, I drink water, I take my vitamins, I write down what I'm grateful for. I also write down my affirmations.
Mm,
Affirmations have changed my whole identity. Like
mm,
the power of affirmations literally changes kind of like your outside in no, I'm
mm,
sorry, inside out,
Oh,
as you would
100%.
say. Yeah. So affirmation definitely changed a lot for me. And like the power of your thoughts is if people only learn that
Yeah.
because back then nobody teaches you things. So
No.
it's kind of like,
Mhm.
whew, thank God for podcasts. Thank God for
Yeah.
personal development books and stuff like that.
Mhm. Mhm.
So to answer to that kind of kept my confidence up.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you mind sharing some of your affirmations today? What are some of the things?
Today,
Yeah, what are some of the things that you tell yourself?
yes, I am confident. I'm worthy of success. I am loved and I am beautiful.
I love those. I love
Yeah.
those.
So every time I go to, I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good.
Uh,
Go.
so every time I go to the bathroom, like I take a pee, I just take a look in the mirror. I am beautiful, and then I just walk out every time I go to the
Yeah.
bathroom.
There you go. There you go. You know what's crazy is that for somebody like me, like I feel like a lot of people feel like sometimes I don't have like insecurities or, you know, like I'm not afraid to do things because I do so many things. I have yet to talk to myself in the mirror. I don't know what it is. Like I can look at myself in the mirror and I can say shit in my head, but like for me to say it out loud and like look in my eyes through the mirror, I think it's so fucking weird. Like I can't do it. And people are like you need to do it. And I'm like, "Oh
Yeah,
my gosh."
it's very uncomfortable because it's like you're talking to yourself, but like
Mm,
if you say something positive, you're more likely gonna smile. Like you're not gonna say
mm.
something positive and you be like sitting there all angry. So trust
Yeah,
me,
yeah.
girl, try it.
Oh my god. I get like anxiety just thinking about it. Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah.
god. I'm like no, like as much as you were nervous to get on this pod, that I am nervous about talking to myself. Okay. I could talk to anybody else
Wow.
all day, but talking to myself, like I don't know if it's like inner child shit or like what is going on, but like that is that's gonna be a day in like a workshop for me. like I gotta go to a workshop for that. I don't know if I could do that by myself. Um Okay, so you had your second baby. Now, at what point, where were you at when you had your second baby?
I was still in the transitional housing.
Okay.
Um, and around that time, it was a rough relationship. But I was also talking to a guy when I was in the homeless shelter. So we were still friends.
Mm-hmm.
He was still talking to me when I was in transitional housing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we got really, really close. So we
Mm-hmm.
were friends for about maybe 2, 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then, hey, we just got a place with each other.
Mm-hmm.
We got things on a roll,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and we felt so connected. We have a lot of similarities, and a lot of like childhood similarities.
Okay.
So, um, and then we the baby came.
Yeah. The easiest
So
way to
we were
put it.
living, yeah. So we
Yeah.
were living together, and it was just a love story from there. And he's still with me with our baby too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, I love that. How does he feel about mental health and self-care and all of that stuff?
he's hard headed. He is hard headed, and I'm trying to tell him like we've been neglecting ourselves for so many years. It's unnatural for us to start doing it.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
uncomfortable. It feels unnormal. It doesn't feel right. So I'm like, before I met him, I was already kind of doing these things. So it's
Yep.
kind of like, let me show you something.
Yep. Yep. A
But other
thousand
than that,
percent.
he's a great guy. He's good with his kids. He loves my son. He also has kids of his own. So we are definitely trying to break generational curses.
For sure, for sure. No, I can 1,000% relate to that because my husband, oh my God, talking about emotions and feelings, like he's like, no, new, like
Yeah.
put it away, block it out, like grind through the day. And so for me, when it comes to talking about those things, or like sometimes I'll be in my office, like doing like breathing exercise, and like I'll feel him come in and like look at me, and I'm like, get out of my space. Like, if you ain't bringing the good vibes, get out. Like I'm about to sage this whole house. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. And so I totally feel you on that. But I love that you found your person and you're getting through life with somebody who cares about you, who cares about your family, and you guys have this well blended family. So I love that for you. Which then kind of takes us to what you're currently doing. You said that you take your vitamins in the morning, you are doing self-care. What does that look like as a mom today, and how do you do that?
How it looks today is sometimes it's overwhelming. It
Mm,
is,
mm,
because that's the guilt comes in. It's
yeah,
like, oh my God, kids, kids, kids. But it's like, okay, if you can't even take care of yourself, how are you gonna take care of your kids? So I
thousand
kind of
percent.
keep that, yeah, in the back of my mind.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of the today thing. But
Yeah.
other than that, I was actually introduced to some health and wellness products back in August of last year,
Okay.
and it was like life changing. Like, I started with 3 day sample myself, and whew, I didn't know like the power of holistic wellness and natural products. So
Mm,
when I started to take it, I had mental clarity. My energy was up. I was less bloated. I was less irritable, and my kids thought saw a difference in me. So I'm like, okay, you know.
yeah.
So that's kind of like what I take in my self care routine right now.
Mm,
Yeah.
okay. And what company is that with?
Oh, this is with Thrive Lavelle. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And what products are you currently taking, or what did you like? Okay, so I guess like what did you take back then? And if it's the same
Excuse me.
now, that was like giving you that mental clarity, that energy boost to become a better mom to your kids. What were you taking?
So you literally need 20 minutes of your day when you wake up. There's two
Okay.
vitamins, two capsules that comes in men's and women's, and then you have a lifestyle shake. Now the shake is what cleanses your guts.
Okay. Yeah, gut health
Yeah.
is so important these days. I think that's something that we like neglected as 90s babies, right? Where we were like hot Cheetos and fruity pebbles, right? And
Right.
so like not taking any pre-probiotic, nothing like that. So I love that you're doing that. Okay, what else are you taking?
Yeah, so you have the vitamins, you have the lifestyle shake, and then you have a DFT patch. Now, this
Mm,
patch gives you energy all day long.
mm,
When people ask me, "Oh, what's on your arm?" People are like, "Oh, is that a nicotine patch?" Like, no, boo boo.
yeah.
This gives me the energy I supposed to have as a mama, because being a tired mom, like, I get it, the burnout, So this is recommended for all the mamas that are tired out there. They need a little pep in their step.
For
Thrive
sure.
is where it's at.
For sure, for sure. Okay, so it gave you mental clarity, it gave you energy. Was there any like negative side effects that like you experienced?
Negative? Mm-mm. Not that I. Mm-mm.
Okay. Okay.
And mind you, there's a whole product line, but I started with the 3 step system, which
Mm,
is the vitamins, the shake, and the DFT patch,
mm,
and that's just what I started out. So I'm sticking to it. There's other products, of course.
mm.
So
Okay. Okay. And then I did want to touch on real quick because you had mentioned him. God, how has that affected your life? How has your spirituality helped you? Was there like times where you were like, why is he giving me this hand? Was there like times where you were questioning him? Or has he always kind of just been like a guiding light?
yes, that time when I was going through postpartum, really,
Yeah.
because I was isolated, I was lonely, nobody understood me. Excuse
Mhm.
me,
You good.
around me, like no human body. I couldn't talk about it. So
Mm,
the faith with him around that time got super strong, mind you,
okay.
with all of the trials and tribulations. So it's like I started to sit with him, sit with my thoughts, write stuff down, and just kind of talk to him every morning. And it was like, wow, it is strong. Like the faith would got really strong,
Mm,
and I had to just sit with it and believe in him, and
mm,
just kind of, oof, not even talk to the outside world for a while, because
mm,
there's so many opinions and stuff going on.
mm.
And when you're a new mom, you're like, okay, what direction should I go? So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. So do you go to church or is this something that you kind of just do personally or what are your practices?
I did when I was young. I was in the choir. I was on the dance team. I was in all of that. But people were talking about God, but they weren't, their actions wasn't with godly things. So it was confusing. You know what I'm saying? But now that you're older, you start to realize, okay, this is not right. This is what this is how it's supposed to be. So,
and how are you
yeah,
bringing that into your household?
I do my Joyce Meyer. I love Joyce Meyer. That's my girl.
Okay.
I listen to the Sunday Word every single morning. Or sometime when I feel down during the day, I'll just, like I said, my own podcast.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I love that because like even if you're not having your own thoughts and thinking your own thoughts and telling yourself your affirmations and stuff like that, I feel like so much of what we listen to subliminally like transfers into our thoughts and into our minds and stuff like that, and then also then like comes into our reality, right? And so I love that you're filling your mind with positive things, not just saying your affirmations and stuff like that. So I guess, is there anything else that you want to say before we go kind of into some final thoughts?
I just want everybody to just wake up in the morning and be happy. Like, life is short. Like, there's crazy stuff happening in the world. So keep your family close. Keep your health up. Keep your spirituality up. You know, God is good. And reach out to me. You can find me on Instagram at jerrika.rose. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of you guys' day whenever you see this video.
Yes.
And thank you so much, Brandy. This is my very first podcast, so
yeah, I'm
I
excited.
really appreciate this.
Yes, of course. And, like, I just really want to be here to, especially when it comes to interviewing, I want to share my platform with other mamas who feel like they have a word to share. And so, with that being said, if there is a mama who's listening and she is going through struggles, what is one thing that you would tell her?
Journal, boo boo. Yes, whatever you're going through, journal. It doesn't matter if it's 5 words on a piece of paper. Like, journaling your thoughts, writing stuff down. If no one understands you, you understand yourself. It's just that sometimes people don't know an avenue how to get through things. So journal, and plan.
I love that because like for me, like I'm not a big journaler because I feel so much pressure sometimes to feel like I have to write a page. So I love that you said, even if it's 5 words, just get it out, put it on paper. And, that way you either A, have that to look back on, B,
Right.
at least get it off your chest, right? And then be able to do step 2, plan, right? So go from there. So I love that you gave that little tip. Now, for the fun part that I've been doing lately on my podcast is I ask questions. So rapid fire, first thing that comes to your mind, give me your answer. Blank is my signature move.
Smiling.
You got a beautiful smile. I love that. All right. Next question. I'm most likely to blank. Anything. Get it out there. What is it? I am most likely to blank.
I'm most likely to dance.
Ooh, okay. I get through tough times by blank. Is it journaling?
By journaling.
How I stay positive, blank.
Listening to podcasts.
Okay. Yeah. Last one. My new mindset is blank.
My new mindset is on fire.
Yes. All right. All right, that's what we have for you today on today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you want to, I'll put it in the show notes as well. Definitely give Jerrika a follow on Instagram. Like I said, opening up. She is literally a ray of sunshine, a light, and just really, really good to connect with. So thanks so much for joining.
Thank you.
All right, mamas, that's what I have for you on today's episode. If you've liked what you've heard, please tag me on your Instagram stories at Brandy Ververs. That way we can continue to grow and empower more mamas to live their best life. See you next time.